hopeful that our program, among its many strengths, one of them is a true and sincere interest in trying to create highly individualized experiences for every person who's associated with Illinois athletics, whether it's a staff member or student athlete, that this is a place that takes the time to learn about each person's journey, to learn about what makes them who they are, and to support them in those efforts. And then beyond that, to create connectivity between people from different backgrounds and different experiences. And I think that the affinity groups are great examples of that happening, but it happens, I hope, every day in the context of our individual teams, and certainly a lot of the different support programming that we do for our student athletes is to make sure that they feel heard, seen, supported in who they are each and every day, and that we're able to extend that out beyond just our student athletes to our staff as well.
I think it's important to acknowledge intersectionality when we talk about identities, because it's easy for us to fall into this space and place of thinking that people's experiences are the same, that if you're a woman and I'm a woman, that there's this monolithic experience for all of us. But I think understanding the intersectionality, that I have these identities that are also a part of this other one that we share, really allows us to place unique value on the person, and then also understand the skill sets that they can bring to a particular place and space. And so I think hopefully in DIA, that's something that we're doing, and that's something that our student athletes believe that we prioritize, but also our coaches and our staff.
I think in particular, even just the work that we have done with our affinity groups, right, is an example of that, and the chance for connectivity in those affinity groups with not just our student athletes, but also our staff. Maybe you can speak even to the most recent panel event related to Black History Month.
Yeah, so Empower hosted a panel the other night to culminate our Black History Month events. And I think that when you look at the panelists, there were people from academic services, there were people from fan engagement, myself from administration, and then you had a student athlete who was moderating and facilitating it. The questions that we were asked and the different ways that we responded to the prompts just really illuminate how different our paths were to get here, right? And even though some of us were similar ages and some of us had similar identities, there were other parents on the panel, there just was an opportunity to understand that one size doesn't fit all, and really understand that just because I experience this thing in this way doesn't mean that everyone experiences it in the same way.
We did something similar with our Illini Ally group and hosting an LGBTQ panel to really empower that group to understand generational differences that exist in that space, as well as identity differences within that space. Yeah.
One of the things that I think of when I center myself in this conversation is being a mother, right? And we've talked about it openly before, like it's sometimes difficult, right? Because you feel like you have to choose one thing or another. And I think having supportive people around you who understand some of those complexities, or regardless of what it is, choose a thing, right? But understand some of those nuances and complexities that might be unique to the women's experience, and not to, again, make it a monolithic experience, but some of those factors that can be challenges, I think are helpful for us to continue to have conversations about, so that we can actively engage in conversations around how to change the trajectory.